The Betrayed.
Welcome back to The Betrayed. This is Gina Beck.
This is Drew Williams.
Thank you for listening, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I appreciate y'all, especially the views on Apple Podcasts. It really means a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we really appreciate the continued engagement, continued support, and the hashtag Banana Cats.
How are you, Drew?
I'm doing all right, G. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I'm excited to get into this podcast this week. It's going to be a short one. We just have a few things we want to talk about. Something I came across on my timeline when I was scrolling through Facebook was it looked like a screenshot of a flyer, and it said poll with the number 4 kids. And so it was like this class hosted for, dancing, where you could bring your child, and you and your child had a spot in this class to dance on, those tall things that go from the floor to the ceiling, and it's silver. I think it's called a pole. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's not okay. So I looked into it, and I found an article, a recent article, and it's real. It wasn't just something that was made up. It says parents outraged over fitness studio announcing, that silver thing that I was talking about, dancing with it, a kind of class for children with that. In Arkansas, fitness center that specializes in, that kind of dancing, is receiving backlash from the local community after advertising a class for kids. Vixen's Fitness in Paragould, a city in the northeastern part of the state, has since removed its entire Facebook page. When it originally announced, what I said in the beginning, the poll and the number 4, you know what I mean, that class. The program was described as that kind of class. They keep repeating the class in the article. We get it, okay? We get what kind of class it is for mothers and their children to attend together, like I said. However, some families in the area expressed outrage for something they feel could, come off wrong. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't even have to explain. Megan Brown, the co-founder of Hope, founder of Northeast Arkansas, is one of the vocal critics speaking out against Vixen's Fitness offering the program. Her nonprofit group was created to fight, bad guys going after,
Innocence.
our beloved children. And she said something like, these classes could potentially put children in danger. It objectifies them, Brown told local ABC affiliate K.A.P. And the hyper, is so closely related and intertwined with children just being taken advantage of. And according to K.A.P., some members of the Paragould community have also claimed the owner of Vixen's has a personal relationship with Eric Counts, a man reportedly arrested in January on charges of possessing CP. Police, however, have stated there is no link between Vixen's Fitness and the arrest of Counts. They also said Counts is not involved in the ownership of Vixen's. Miranda, the owner of Vixen's Fitness, provided a statement on Wednesday in which she wrote, "I have had the worst 24 hours of my life. Never have I been attacked and hated the way the people in this community have treated me." Oggs reportedly said in the statement that she had received several threats on her life, among other harassments, since the announcement of the class. You guys know what I'm talking about. Kate reported that Ogg said the idea for the class did not come from her, but rather from a grandmother who had requested for her granddaughter to be able to take private lessons. Oggs also stated other parents have wanted their children to join them for classes in the studio. Though Vixen's Fitness removed the Facebook announcement of the class, it is listed on the studio's website schedule for upcoming classes. The first listing for a June 1st class at 7 p.m. local time, and further classes are listed going forward on Tuesdays. The online description for the class is as follows. Does your little one have energy to burn? Do they love to swing on jungle gyms and around stair rails? Our kids class will help your child develop strength, increase flexibility, and build body awareness, all while having fun and enjoying their pole playtime. Says at the end. I don't like that. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a second. Vixen's Fitness has not made any further public announcement regarding the status of the class. Newsweek contacted Olgs from Vixen's Fitness and Hope Found of Northeast Arkansas for comment, but did not hear back in time for publication. That's about it. We'll link the article in the description. You guys can read it for yourselves if you'd like. What are your thoughts on it, Drew?
What in the trailer trash is going on here? First of all, a grandmother requested for her granddaughter to have a private lesson. Like, okay, granted, maybe we don't know all the facts. Maybe it's like a 20-year-old granddaughter that got invited. Like, we don't know that. But regardless, how does
These
that?
are children in that poster.
Yeah.
That child in the poster looks 10.
Yeah, because he sent me that, and
Or
we'll probably
younger.
talk about it next week. But I'm watching this documentary right now about drag queen shows for kids around the world, and
Something that our audience knows very well about. We've talked about quite a few times here.
it's I'm gonna have you watch it. We'll discuss it in a later episode. But they focus on these dance classes in it, and it's kind of weird that you brought that up. And I was just at this part where they're talking about all this, and they're totally hypersexualizing these children, and I feel like there's some part of the community that's manipulating easily led parents into thinking that it's not. Because I don't have a problem with a kid wanting to put on makeup or doing anything like that. It's the whole doing it in front of other weird adults. That's the problem I have.
And then trying to add that you can do it with your mother. Just to, like, make it seem not so
Yeah,
creepy
yeah, and
or wrong.
I I don't
And
know.
if you're going to these classes with your daughter, it's like you could do this at home. If you really wanted to teach her these things, you could buy it online. There's Amazon, there's eBay. You can buy exactly what we're talking about online, which would cost cheaper than a year's worth of those classes. And you could do them in your own living room, and you could put it away when you're done. And you can explain to your daughter that this is, for exercising or whatever you want, to explain it to her, but privately. I just don't think that, like, these classes should be hosted in front of fathers and grandfathers and uncles and mothers and aunts and grandmothers, and then I guarantee you it's not just classes. There's going to be like a tournament, or like someone's going to win something type thing, and then a whole bunch of family members come to watch. It's going to be like one of those things, like a show or something, and it's going to lead to worse and worse things, and that's what's making it acceptable for society to just sit back and watch these kids dance on these poles, whether it's with a mom or not. No. Who wants to watch that? Raise your hand if you're listening right now if you want to watch that. None of us do.
I just don't understand.
Whether it's sorry, one more time.
No.
Whether it's your kid or not, do you want to watch that? You want to watch your kid do that? Please tell me who's signing up for these classes. Let's look at their Facebooks. Let's dig into them, because what's going on? To me, that's not exercise. You can sign your kid up for what is that thing called? Gymnastics. My cousin did gymnastics.
This is literally what I was just trying to say, what I was trying to get out before I interrupted you.
Sorry.
No, that was my fault. I totally interrupted your good roll there. But why can't we as society just decide that some things are just for adults and not for children? Like you were just saying, why not put them in gymnastics? There's a bunch of other things that are very, very, even down to cheerleading and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that you could put your child into that are not direct descendants from a category that is for adults. And then you're trying to...
Yeah, still exercise and getting flexible and burning whatever it is you're, like this article said, It's just like...
Yeah, well, when you first sent me that screenshot, I wasn't even sure if it was really real. And then when you told me that there was articles and things like that, I was just like, wow, we got some issues in society. And this is not because I know we're in Pride Month. And listen, me and Gina will both gladly stick up for that community any day of the week. I have no problem with that. I just have a problem with people doing stuff to kids. That's only my issue. That's my only issue. Like, why do you got to get kids involved in this stuff? Why?
Exactly. And I mean, I don't know. I just, it's such a touchy topic. And I think that this went viral for a reason. And I'm glad that it did. I'm glad that, she said she's never gotten this much hate in 24 hours. It's because it's wrong. And I hope that, the grandmother came up with the idea, whether it's the truth or not, nobody should be thinking about that. Even if it's an innocent thought, it's like really like you would promote that. I mean, really think about it. Think about what you're promoting. Just really think about it.
Yeah, there had to have been so many steps to go through before they actually made those flyers and all that. And it's like, how did not any of these conversations come up? Or did you guys just think that, oh, it's 2021 and it's gonna fly? And it's good on the community if they fight that
It's
fight.
some I see like okay, like I could see like, oh, it's something new. Okay, I could see it, but it's something new that kids don't need to try, right? It's a,
Exactly.
just like what Drew said. Like, can't there be in a category where things just stay for adults? Like, it's exactly that. Because I don't know, just one parent or grandmother or father or whoever come to me and tell me, yeah, I want to see my child do that. Just come tell me that. And give me your perspective. We'll bring you on and talk to you because I'd like to know. I'd like to pick your brain and ask you questions on like why you think that's okay.
I would love to sit down with some of these parents and just understand their reasoning behind it because I do think that a lot of these parents that get wrapped up into these circles have good intentions. I really don't think a lot of them are malicious. I think they're just trying to find an outlet for their child to express themselves, but we live in a very sick society that exploits those people.
100%. And some people would want to say, oh, if you're thinking that, because I've seen this in comments in places, if you're thinking that, you know, like you're the bad one, like they're just doing that. Like, I think there was like a video of, like a father like hugging his daughter, and the comments were crazy because it was a little too much affection, and I guess people in the comments weren't used to that, right? And so they were just like, no, this is, but there was also people in the comments that were like, you guys gotta get over it, like this is how they show love, and this is not gross or creepy, this is a father and a daughter. And in my opinion, it didn't look too much. It looked like a father and daughter thing. And I know how I'm explaining it might sound weird. I could even link the video in the description for you guys to watch it for yourselves. You guys could see how it could come off if you didn't know them.
And didn't know the
Maybe weird.
context.
Like an extra long hug. You know what I mean? And just like gazing at her, and then just like there's music in the background. It was just for a TikTok. But it wasn't over affectious to where it was like creepy, I thought. But some of the comments thought that way. So I can understand if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh, if you think that way, then you must be the one in the wrong. In this kind of situation, I don't think that's the case. I think that Drew and I have just witnessed too much, and there's too much going on around us that people don't talk about, that this will lead into making something okay on a bigger level. I mean, we can bring it way back to Desmond and those videos where men were literally throwing money at Desmond. Do you want that to happen to your child? Because putting them in classes like that will only lead, I'm not saying it'll lead to that, but it'll lead to shows, right? And it'll lead to other family members coming to watch these shows. And I think some of the family members won't have good intentions. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I keep bringing up this documentary that you got to watch. They show these shows, and you see some of the parents and some of the family, and then you see some of the rest of the crowd, and it's some weirdos. There's some weird people in there.
Yeah. And if your child grows up and he or she wants to do that for money, they're over 18. They can do what they want. I just don't think you should put your child in a situation like that so early. Let them make that choice on their own.
100%. I got something to follow that, and we could wrap it up because that's a deep subject matter. Me and you could probably talk for another 3 hours on. But this was initially reported May 31st, and then there was an update after the perpetrator was caught on June 1st. This is a suspected Brooklyn child weirdo using dogs to lure kids in police custody, sources say. Brooklyn police took a suspect into custody Tuesday in connection with several child lure incidents in Brooklyn where the predator used his dogs to approach children, law enforcement sources told Pix 11 News. Brooklyn grade school Leadership Prep Ocean Hill in Brownsville sent parents a letter warning them about the man who was identified by police on Monday as Brandon Rodriguez, 25 years old. According to the school, the suspected weirdo had been spotted near the school during drop-off and pickup times with his dogs. Rodriguez allegedly approached a 13-year-old girl on May 24th near Osborne Street and Picton Avenue and asked her to take a picture with him and his dog. After, he allegedly led her into an apartment building, touched her inappropriately, and stopped her from leaving by placing a dog by the doorway and taking the girl's bag. He fled when the victim's friend called out to her. The next day, Rodriguez allegedly asked a 12-year-old girl on Christopher Avenue to take a picture of him with his dog. She ran away when Rodriguez allegedly tried to lead her into an apartment building. An hour later, Rodriguez allegedly asked an 11-year-old to take a picture with him and his dog near Watkins and Pitkin Avenue, officials said. The girl ran away when Rodriguez allegedly tried to lead her into an apartment building again. Rodriguez was taken into custody Tuesday, but no charges have been filed as of 12 p.m., law enforcement sources said. Rodriguez was previously arrested twice for the R word. He was arrested in 2015 for R-wording a 15-year-old girl on the roof of a building in Brooklyn, and he was arrested in 2019 again for doing the same type of act to a 21-year-old woman in the bathroom of a Marriott Marquez in Midtown. Police have asked help for locating Rodriguez, and the article didn't update. They had already found him. But this is a 25-year-old guy that was just walking around using dogs to do very, very terrible things to children and attempted to. And it looks like he did do it a few times. And you guys will see pictures of him in the thumbnail, or if you click on the article, he just looks like a inner city metro kid. He doesn't look like a weirdo or anything like that. I was just shocked to see how young, and then how seems like he's got his own tactics already. That's the best way to put it, I think.
So messed up. I mean, story time. Remember when we were, decoying heavily, and the dog guy. Yeah, the dog guy. A couple of us decoys had been in contact with the dog man, dog guy, we called him. He hit us up all with the same spiel, all with the same lines, all with the same, I want to be a dog. And can I be your dog? He didn't have a real dog like what you're talking about, but this situation is it's grooming, and it's kind of like along the same lines. He was the dog. And a child hearing like you're a dog, like they're gonna question that, right? They question everything. So a child will be like, "You're a dog? Like, what do you mean?" And he's like, "I like to be on a collar. I like to have a leash. I like to be outside with a doghouse. He likes to eat dog food. He said and then those were the innocent things as a dog he would say that he liked. But then it would get graphic as the conversation went on for extensive periods of time. He would start saying,
I remember those chat logs. They were extra weird. Like,
he wanted to be like sat on as a dog, though, not as him as a dog. And while she was watching TV, and just like really odd requests, but he had to be the dog the whole time. And he told me he couldn't talk. He's like, I wouldn't be able to talk to you. He really put his all into his dog character, but it was his way of growing, and he knew that he could only get away with that if it was with a child. And he promised the child his whole social security every month if she took care of him. Like, would lure the decoy to not be at home, but to come take care of him at his home, and he would provide a couple $100 a month for the dog food, he said.
Yeah, I remember that.
Crazy, right? Crazy. Like, people are out there and they live like that. They really live like that. And he said he was married. She left him.
Yeah,
like, it could just be anyone.
Dr. Phil just had an episode that came out recently with a wife that she thought she was in a completely happy relationship, and the guy turned out to be an extra weirdo, almost having like full-on relationships with others. And you never know who these people are going to be. It's usually, like we always say, it's usually not the guy that looks like the stereotype. It's the least person you suspect.
Just be aware. I think we're going to end it on that. Be sure to check out the links in the descriptions. If you guys want to come on because you have a story and you want it to be told, our socials are in the descriptions. You can come message us on any one of our platforms. Thank you for listening, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Until next time, Banana Cats.
Banana Cats. Much love. Peace.